Welcome back to another episode of the New Legacy Podcast. Today I have Jeremy Schultz with me. He is a phenomenal person that did some crazy feat within the last couple of years. Jeremy, welcome to the podcast.
What's up, dude? Thanks for coming up to Redding, California, God's country.
Yeah, this is a beautiful place, man. I freaking drove 3 hours and a half to go see you, but it's all worth it
Yeah, right on, brother.
because
Hell yeah.
he's going to be coaching me on my run across America. And the man did it himself. He walked across America recently, and he's been through the
right.
thick of it. So I want to let you introduce yourself, and also, where you're from.
Yeah.
What got you started, and like, what's going on, man? Like, with this mission.
Yeah, well, as you said, my name is Jeremy Schultz, a.k.a. the Wandering Monk. I got that name, the Wandering Monk, from my 3,100-mile walk across America. So in 2019, I stepped off the Brooklyn Bridge and I walked for 178 days, which is just shy of 6 months,
Yeah.
and 3,100 miles. I walked from the Brooklyn Bridge to this bridge that is back here behind us, to the Sundial Bridge here in Redding, California. Yeah, and I'm one of the few people. I did it completely unsupported.
Mm-hmm.
I had no crew with me, nothing. I had a 52-pound pack, and seeing as how this is going online, I already know what people are gonna say. Oh man, it's only 2,600 miles across the U.S. Well, that's true. I went out of my way. I actually walked up to Niagara Falls first, and then from Niagara Falls, I walked to Oklahoma City, because that's where the foundation was for the anti-bullying campaign that I was doing for. And then from Oklahoma City to Redding. And in that time, I had 6 near-death experiences, found
wow.
God, the whole deal. We'll get into it.
Yeah, I can't wait. So, were you born and raised in this area?
Yeah, that's why, my book has a double meaning, Way of the Wandering Monk, walking home. I was, my whole family is from Redding. I grew up just outside Redding, out by Whiskey Town Lake, best lake in all of California, in Old Shasta. And this is an amazing place to grow up, man. Had goats and chickens and all that shit, growing up. Grew our own food, the whole deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is so you grew up here. What got you started on this walk across America? Like, that's the thing that we connected on, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna need your mentorship.
Right.
I'm gonna be asking you a lot of good questions because I actually need it.
Yeah, right. Well,
Like, where did your story start, brother?
Well, so here's the thing is, I've been a professional drummer for, better part of 2 decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, grew up here in Redding, right after high school, which I graduated in 1992. Yeah, I'm 50 years old, right? I bailed up to Seattle, and I was at the right place at the right time. I was able to be part of the Seattle grunge scene.
Yeah.
And as a drummer, right? So, I've had a great career, and I got caught up in the lifestyle, man. I got caught up in the partying, in the booze and the drugs and living fast, right? And was touring, and listen, man, I ended up getting married, had a stepson, and instead of being the man that I was supposed to be, I was being a man child, and drinking and partying, and everything came crashing down. So in 2016, I got a divorce in the middle of tour. It was gnarly, and I lost everything, man. I lost my business, lost my soul. And then I spent the next couple of years, like I said, I went to Thailand. I spent the next couple of years trying to sort out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Wound up in New York City, and New York City is, I'm glad I went there, because that's where I met my now wife. But New York City is it's the busiest, loneliest, soul-sucking place I've ever been, and that's where I believe that's where people can go to die. And
Wow.
I woke up one morning uh, completely dead inside, and I had no feeling.
Yeah.
And I decided, I was like, I need to find I need to find an answer
Mm-hmm.
for something. And so I quit. I gave away. I was living in New York City, man, and I gave up my New York City apartment, all my drums, my laptop. I gave away every single thing that I owned to go set out to walk across America in search of a question, that I didn't know how to ask, and I was looking for the answer that I didn't know that existed, that I found on my walk. And so, you know, uh, I just declared. I woke up one day, gave away everything, and I said, okay. And it was December of 2018. I called up my friend, posted on social media. I said, April 22nd, I'm gonna walk off the Brooklyn Bridge. Um, uh, as a dead man. I was going to call my book "The Walking Dead Man," or "Dead Man Walking." And so, when I was living in Thailand, there was this guy named
Mm-hmm.
Toon Body Slam,
Yeah.
who would ran, and he ran from the bottom of Thailand to the top. Raising money for the children's hospital. And when I was living there, that was really captivating to me. And he talked about like how liberating, and about like you know how many answers, and the enlightenment that he had. And so I would literally sit there in my bed at night, and I'd be like, man, I wonder if I was able to find that. And I had no handbook of how to walk across America. I'd never been on an overnight backpacking trip. I didn't know anything, man. I just knew that I had to do it. So I kept my word, and on April 22nd of 2019, I took one step off the Brooklyn Bridge into the complete unknown.
Wow. So that was the beginning of your journey. Like you're like, boom, stepped off. So like, how was it like, man? Like, do you can you tell me like more of the feeling, like what happened
Yeah,
there? Like,
yeah. So check this out. Prior to my walk, I did my quote unquote training. It wasn't
yeah.
really training. I just freaking woke up and walked every day. My buddy, my best friend at the time, who just passed away last year. God bless your soul. Rest in peace, John. Love you. My most best friend ever. He and his wife and their tremendous family, they lived in Virginia, and I went out there and would train. And so I just had to get the feeling of walking 20 some odd miles every day, right? When I got to the bridge, like I said, I didn't really think this out too much. I didn't have a crew or nothing. I didn't train with a pack on, so while I was training, I met this this dude that this super righteous cat named Cody, and he's a character in my book
Mm-hmm.
that I talk about. And Cody is a man that he is a man that legends are made of. Man, this guy. He's been across the U.S. a bunch of times. He speaks in stoic riddles, man. He's got like his face tattooed. He's just this gnarly dude. And he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna come with you for like your first week, man, and I'm gonna walk with you every day."
Wow.
And he showed up with a 30-pound mace, and every morning he and I we did mace exercises. So he had a 50-pound pack and a 30-pound mace, right? And he met. So we walked. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so crazy.
So I was riding on his coattails, right? Of like the safety and the having somebody there with me, right? And so we walked, and we didn't even make it for a week, and then we made it for a week when we walked off that bridge. The first night we slept in a park.
Yeah.
Right, and I didn't have a tent with me, and it rained on me, and I was like, shit, I should probably get a tent, right? It didn't really feel like I was walking across America until 7 days in, and then he had a family emergency and he had to leave, and that night he bailed out. And something that he said was a theme that has stuck with me my whole life, and it was like it's one of the themes of my book. And it became the theme of my life. And when Cody and I were walking, he was telling me, he's been all over, man. He's traveled and he's done all the stuff, and people would stop and they would give us money and they would give us food, and it was like anything that I needed just showed up. And Cody would tell me, he's like, listen, bro, he's like, hey, the road provides, right? The road always provides. So woke up in the morning on the seventh day, and he had to leave, and we had coffee in the morning, and he's leaving and all, and I started having all this fear, and I'm like, fuck, I'm out here in the Pocono Mountains by myself, and he's leaving, and he gets about 500 yards, and he turns around, man, and he's like, hey, brother, don't forget, man, the road always provides. The road always provides, bro. You'll be good. And then he kept on walking, and I was like thinking, whoa, man, like, okay, yeah, dude, the road always provides. And you know what? I stayed on that road even when I had no GPS and when I was lost. And it did, man. That road provides. And when you're on the correct road, you will find the power, and everything you need is on that road. And I'll get in more into that later. But that's how that first part felt, man. Was it didn't feel like I was walking across America until Cody left after the seventh day, and then bam, I'm out there by myself. And you're sleeping in the woods. You got freaking coyotes.
You just have a pack on, right? That was it.
I just had a pack. Yeah, dude, and I had this really dope ass fanny pack with some water bottles, and I was carrying my own water. Like a pound of water is what, like, or I'm sorry, like a gallon of water is what, like 8 pounds or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
You're right, yeah. So I just carried my own water, my own food, and freaking sardines, and
That is gangster.
and coffee.
Wow.
I never ran out of coffee. There was there was this running joke where I said, yeah, man, if they find me dead in the middle of the desert, I'll have, like, they'll find empty sardine cans, and they'll find all of this. They'll find all of this shit. I ran out of everything, but I guarantee they will still find a pound of coffee. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. I really like that you mentioned that the road would provide, because for me,
Yes.
like, on my business path this last year, on all the like project I'm doing right now, like, I didn't know if I was gonna make it, and then as I keep doing it, like, more resources was provided.
Yeah.
Like, so I realized that, like, I have to keep a momentum up and going. If I don't have a momentum, then I will fall.
Yes.
As long as, like, for me, it's like, as long as for the analogy, it's like as an airplane, right? You have an airplane.
Yeah.
If you could stay in momentum, you stay in the sky.
Yes.
But once that momentum stop,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and listen, man, the road the road provides. Listen, man, here's the thing. You have to people would challenge me on that. Oh no, the road doesn't always provide. Listen, the road provides as long as you keep going down the road.
Yeah.
You have to keep going down the road, right? People are like, "Oh, the road doesn't." Motherfucker, you've been on the same road. You're standing still on the road, and you're thinking the road provides.
Yeah.
You used all the resources on that part of the road. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yep.
Keep going. You have to keep going. The road, provides. And as long as you keep going down that road never stops, man. Even into the afterlife and like that. The road provides.
Wow. Like, that's, like, I know there's more nuggets, but, like, that was the biggest nugget for me right now. That, like, wherever I'm going through, the phases I'm going through right now with my business project and everything.
Right.
Like, when you said the road provide, as long as you keep going, like, that thing just clicked for me. I'm like, damn.
Right.
That's what I was thinking, but, like, it was not put together yet. It's like I have a fragment of it, like two
Right.
pieces, and you just, like, put it together.
And that's the thing, man. Is you have to know how to trust the process. I named my book "The Way of the Wandering Monk: Walking Home," and this the reason why I chose that was because this is literally the way. People think, oh, there's this and this. Listen, there's laws of the universe have already been determined. We don't make those laws. That God makes those laws. The law is irrefutable. You can't dispute the law. This is the way that thing that stuff happens. When I left for that walk, dude, I was completely dead inside. I'd lost my family. Still have never seen my stepson. All of that vanished, man. My business, everything that I knew was gone. And I hadn't built myself up to be the man that I needed to be able to just, take a proverbial punch in the face and keep going. So I was dead and gone. And by walking down that road, every mile I gained more and more strength, right? More and more strength. But here's the caveat.
Yeah.
The further down that road you get, especially when you're in the condition, the further down that road you get, oftentimes, the more painful it gets. So you're being tested, bro. Like, there was a point, man, where I walked a week and a half, dude, in 90-degree rain, right? The skin off my feet came off, right? And I was in so much freaking pain, dude. After my feet had dried out, they were bloody and cracked, and I had all that weight on my thing. I was completely soaking wet, dude, morning, noon, and night, and it was so freaking painful. And I kept going, but it's almost like the pain and all of that builds the power, and then everything that you need is provided the further you go. So no matter how painful it is, no matter how hard it is, you have to keep going.
Yeah. Damn, that's. So, where did you sleep on this? Like, so you only have a backpack on. How did you sleep? Like, where did you sleep on this whole time?
Just carried a small tent with me on the outside of my pack. If I could get a room, I would. A lot of people are like, oh, well, you sleep in hotels. Dude, is what a lot of people don't realize is how desolate most of the United States is.
Yeah.
You could walk for, a week and a half and not see a freaking car, anybody, wow. Right? I mean, think about it. 20 minutes at full speed, or, like 6 miles an hour or whatever, a 20-minute drive is about a 10-hour walk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when somebody's like, "Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, we got a hotel in this town. It's about 80 miles that way."
Yeah.
Right? So, that's going to take you like 3 days?
Yeah.
Right? 2 or 3 days to walk there, right? I already know what someone said. "Oh yeah, I'd walk 40 miles one day." No, you wouldn't. No, right? So where did I sleep? Most of the time I slept in the woods. Like I would be scouting out, if I was going through like a small town or whatever, sometimes I'd sleep under a bridge. I would, I'd always find a place, man. And after a while, man, it became really fun. It became, it's what I needed, man. It was, it was a trip going through the U.S. There's all these different terrains, like when I was going through the Ozark Mountains, that's like the jungle, man. So sleeping in there, I wake up with ticks all over me, and yeah, dude, yeah, man, it was so gnarly, and it was just humid, and it's so loud, right? I'm on the West Coast. We don't have all the loud freaking crickets and night bugs and everything, and it was impossible to sleep. I was like, what the hell, right? Yeah, so most of the time, and then, I slept out in the middle of the desert in the salt flats, walking through Salt Lake City. Slept everywhere, man.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
So, obviously on your journey across the U.S., what are some highlights you want to tell the audience that might have your oh shit moment, or some of the high emotional points you have?
Oh man. Well,
I'm excited.
I got a few, so my book, the first chapter of my book starts out right. I was sleeping underneath, I was in Indiana. I was sleeping underneath this tree. Thunderstorm comes in, boom, lightning hits the tree that I was sleeping under. So like my tent's here, tree falls that way, and I jump up. It felt like a Mack truck hit me, man. It was terrifying. I'm out there by myself, get up and run to high ground, and that got flooded out. And so that's really all that happened that night. And so I was really freaked out. I'd packed up, walked to a different campground, 25 miles later. But when I got there, another storm was coming in, and the lady, she rings me, I told her, oh yeah, walking across America. I was like, I almost got killed in that storm last night. She was like, oh yeah, the tent camping is down by that river. And I'm like, I don't know. It's, I'm freaked out to sleep by the river. She's like, we've had this campsite for, 20 years. The river will not flood.
Yeah.
Well, that night, the freaking the bridge broke.
Yeah.
And dude, I've got pictures of this. I've got video of this. This thing came in and it was like snapping trees as it came. Well, here's the other thing. I was sleeping in my tent, and it was like monsoon style of rain coming down, and my stomach was growling. And I'm thinking like, man, I should just go to sleep. I'll get something to eat in the morning. And then at the last minute, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get something, right? So and there was this shelter. So I got up and I grabbed my backpack and my little jet boil stove. You can fucking make some ramen, right? So I run in to the shelter, and as I'm making it, the bridge breaks like that. Takes my tent. I would have been in there, dude. I would have been dead.
Oh wow.
Dude, because it wrapped the picnic table like 15 feet around one of the trees.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So anyways, I got swept away. Dude came down in a Jeep, picked me up. But one of the gnarliest ones. I fell off a 40-foot cliff. That was uncomfortable. But one of the gnarliest ones that they talked about on Rogan was what I call the prison break story. Right? Yeah. So I was
make these up, man.
no, dude. The prison break story. That was crazy. I was in the middle of the Panhandle, and I'd been walking on this road for a few days, and like this road, so like the roads on the part of the Panhandle when I was going up into Nebraska, like they would just all of a sudden not be paved roads anymore. There's freaking dirt roads. It's like middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to navigate that, and I almost died on one of those roads. I'll tell you about that later. And so I came through. There was this town, and I forget what the name of the town is. It's in the book, but I had saw right before my phone died. I saw that there was a little body of water. It was just like a reservoir. So I was going to sleep by it, and I set my tent up, and this ranger comes down, and he was like, "Hey, we're gonna have a storm coming in. I don't want you sleeping by here because this thing will flood and you'll probably get killed." So he's like, so he tells me where to set up my tent. It was like 5 miles, and so I went into town, just outside of town, and set up my tent. It was close to the freeway that they were gonna let me walk in. And just as he leaves, he goes, "Hey, just to let you know, maximum state security prison down that way, and there's a storm shelter down that way. If there's a prison break, if you hear prison sirens, stay in your tent." He goes, "If there's a storm, go run into there. See ya." And I was like, whoa, wait. What do you mean? If there's a prison, does that happen? He's like, no. But just in case. I'm like, okay, fuck that. Now I'm freaked out, right? Go to sleep, man. And sure enough, dude, I could hear the storm coming. I'm like, there's gonna be a storm, but it probably won't be that bad. And all of a sudden, 3 o'clock in the morning, dude, I got this. I fucking recorded this shit. Boom, dude. Prison break sirens are happening, man, and I'm hearing like these search dogs going. It's like, shh, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? And so there's like these cop cars. I could hear them in the background, and all of a sudden my phone started going off, and there was a tornado warning coming, right? And so it started. There was a tornado that was coming through the area. Now the tornado did not come through me, but it was just. The rain just started coming down. There was trees snapping, and I wrote it out, and my tent ended up getting all flooded. There's branches about that big around came, dude, and was just like snapping and boom, dude, coming down on the ground. And oh my God, I had no idea how that was gonna pan out. And pretty soon, man, it just blew over. I woke up in the morning, man, it was just completely flooded. I grabbed my tent, ringed everything out, man, and I headed. And sure enough, it was on the news that there was a prison break, and the guys from the foundation called me, and they're like, "Dude, we saw on the news." And so I was freaked out. And you're not allowed to walk on to walk or hitchhike or anything on that thing of road. So the state troopers kept stopping, and then they would get on the radio, and they would say, "Oh yeah, this guy's walking like that." But that was terrifying because I was out there by myself, and then a week later, I was on this abandoned road where I ran out of water when it was 109 degrees, and ended up praying for water, and water showed up. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could keep going.
Oh, just keep going, man.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah,
This is like amazing. Don't shorten your story. Just like tell it as if you.
yeah, so that was a trip. Now at that point, I was still a bit, I wouldn't really say like spiritually cut off, but I had been walking, and I made it a point to not have headphones on, dude. So I needed to like connect to listen to this message that was coming to me when I was walking, and I saw on my GPS, this town, and my phone died, and so I kept walking down this road, and all of a sudden the road, the blacktop disappeared, and it just became like a dirt road. And so I kept walking on that road, and I was on that road for 3 days, man, and it was about 109 degrees, and it's just like a dirt road. And I had ran out of water, and I had like a can of sardines, and so I ran out of water on the second day. So the third day, so it was 48 hours without water, and I don't know if you've ever been 48 hours without water, and it was so my kidney started hurting, and I was like pissing out fucking like glue almost, right? Yeah, and I remembered I had I had really been emotionally going through some stuff, and I was having like this conversation with God. I didn't know it at the time. Well, I was like, "Whoa, is that you, God?" Right? We're conversating as I was going, and I really thought I was gonna die, man. And for the first time in my life, I got on my knees in the middle of that Oklahoma Panhandle, and I was like, "I don't know how this is gonna happen." I said, "Hey, if you're real, I need some water." And please, blah blah blah. And I was like, "Hey, not only that, I need some answers. I don't know what's going on." I was like, "Yeah, if you're real, give me a sign. I really don't want to die out here, because I feel like I have a purpose. I don't feel finished yet." And then boom, I freaking passed out, and I woke up, and there was I thought that I heard a truck. And sure enough, way back in the distance, just like a movie or whatever, you could see this little truck, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was this lady, man, this male lady, and she pulled up, and she was like, "Whoa, what the hell are you doing out here?" And I was like, "Oh my God, my lips are all cracked." I'm like, "Do you have any water?" She's like, "I got some water in my back." She goes, "I've had the same mail route for 20 years." She goes, "I don't even know why I've never even driven down this road except for a couple of times. I don't know what compelled me to drive down here today." She was like, "I saw you on the news. You're the dude that's walking across America." I was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Could I get a ride into town?" It was about another day's walk. She said, "I can't give you a ride, but I can't stop you from riding, in the back." She put a cooler back there, and I'm drinking water, man. And I just got all emotional. I was like, "No freaking way, dude. Like, what are the odds?" I was like, and so she drops me off into town, and she said, "Hey, there's a hotel. There's a hotel right there. I'm friends. I'm friends with the people who own that. She goes, tell them you know me, and I'm sure you could get a room. She's like, yeah, God bless you. You know what? I gave her a hug, and I was like, man. And so I composed myself, drank some water, and I went in there, and they were like, hey, you're the guy that's walking across America, blah blah blah. And I said, hey, can I get a room? They're like, yeah, man, dude, room is on us. We totally know your deal. And I said, thank you, man. I was like, hey, the mail lady said, you know, she's your friend and everything, and she said that I could, you know, she told me how to get a room here, and they're like, what mail lady? What are you talking about? And they had no idea what I was talking about. So either they didn't know who I was talking about, or like that, or did she really exist? Like I don't know. Like that whole
That's crazy.
that whole thing was a trip. Yeah, you know. And then and then I'll tell you. Not really the final story, but you know, another monumental thing. So by the time I got to Nevada, you know, I was just full, man. I was like this wild maniac out in the, you know, my beard was growing, and I was like, ah. And I was in the wild, man, and was full of confidence, man. I was like, I'm gonna make this. I'm in Nevada. I'm so close. This is called the Bear Mace story.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I fucking bear maced myself. All right, so I'm in. So I was walking over in the mountains in Nevada, and it was late at night, and I found a place to post up. I had my tent, and I'd made a sandwich, and I had a can of bear mace strapped on to my backpack on the outside, and the fucking safety had came off, and it was up against the tree, and I had slid down the tree, and my elbow hit the thing, and it bear maced me in the face, dude. And that bear mace got everywhere, and I was like, ah, and it had like I had like snot coming out of my nose, and and it was all over my beard. Well, bear mace is it's like an oil, you know, and so it was really hard to wash off, right? So I walked for another 3 days. The bear mace got everywhere, man. It got on my balls. It got on my underarms. Got everywhere. I walked out for the next 3 days until I found a KOA campground that let me take a shower and fucking wash all the bear mace off. So you talk about mind over matter, dude. Like yeah, dude. Try walking after you bear mace yourself.
For 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was gnarly, man.
wow. Well, what are three things or three lessons you learned from this whole journey that someone can take today and apply it to their life?
Well, like I said, you know, this was less of a walk across America, and this was way more of a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
You know, you know, and you know, knowing that the road provides. You know, I was walking. When I started this walk, I had zero hope. And if somebody is watching this and they're feeling broken and hopeless and like that, I would say, keep walking their walk, whatever they're doing, and the glimmer of hope will show up. And put yourself in a situation where there is hope. Surround yourself around, like, you know, we're in the best time ever of human connection, right? You know, a lot of people bag on self improvement and all this stuff. You know, this you know, this motivation and this hopey and lovey, but you know, a lot of times that comes from people who have never been in a situation where they are void of hope, and they've never felt hope, and they feel like dying, and they feel like everything. Listen, search, you know, with a vengeance. Search for that glimmer of hope, because without hope, a dead man can never live. Okay? Without hope, a dead man, there's no chance of a dead man ever being able to live again. All right. So it's critical that you go and you find that hope. And that hope is like imagine you're in quicksand and that hope is it's like a rope and you're still sinking, but you got that hope, right? Now like the quicksand is right there. As the quicksand can get all the way up to here, man. And then you just fucking pull yourself, and you just keep going and keep going. And as long as you don't let go, as long as you stay on that road, that glimmer of hope can get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you turn that hope into belief, even before action, right? So you take that hope and then belief, and then as soon as that register of belief permeates into your soul, into the fiber of your being, all right, you have to tell, no matter what doubt comes in, you're like, no, I believe, right? With every fiber of my being, and then you take action, and you're gonna have, so like walking through weeks of rain and pain and all that was doubt, that was obstacles coming at me, like, you're gonna fail, you ain't gonna walk on this. Listen, man, you lost your family, you lost your fucking career. Like, who would want to be a professional drummer, like a rock star, and playing big old stadiums and oh yeah, and then you get there and you fuck it up, you piece of fucking garbage, right? What are you gonna, it's like you're gonna, and you can't even and so what makes you think you could walk across America? And it's like, I had to, right? And so just that little bit of hope and belief was enough for me to was enough for me to counteract the negative thoughts, right? The real life obstacles, the pain, the skin coming off of my feet, the busted up knee from falling off the 40-foot cliff, right? The bear mace and the bugs crawling around on you, the thirsty, the hunger, the walking through 100 degrees, walking through snow, all of that, man. I just started, that belief turned into action, and then pretty soon I felt like I'm crazy, because I believe I'm really gonna make this freaking happen. I'm really gonna make this happen. And then you become that person. I talk about in my book. I was like, I felt like an imposter. Like, oh, dude, I'm a drummer, right? That's all I've ever done my whole life. I'm not like this fucking Indiana Jones guy. And I'm like, yeah. So who am I? I felt like a big old imposter. Well, you know what? Become that person. Just do it. That's a limiting belief. Oh, I'm not this. Why not? You're not. Oh, you're not. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I'm not an athlete. Why? What? You're not. Why? You're not, because you speak the words I am not. So therefore you are not, right? If you speak the words I am, therefore I am. I am an adventurer. Like, before I was walking off, there was a dude at the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh yeah, so you're gonna walk across America. How many of these have you ever done? Have you ever done America? Nope, I haven't done any of them. And then he like pauses. He's like, oh, so he's like, oh, so you've never even, like, you're not an athlete? Like, nope. He's because everyone's like, well, who's your shoe sponsor? I don't have any sponsors. I'm not an athlete. I've never done this before, right? So, but I said I am. That's why I did it. That word used to be outlawed, right? Way back in the day, it was against the law to write the word I am, right? You couldn't write. I am is so powerful. So you had to become it. I said, you asked me, like, what are the actions, right? You have to believe. I don't care how fake you want to make it like that, and then just say I am. I am rich, I am prosperous, I am, even if you're big old fat and you got a big old gut and you feel like nothing, say I am fit, I'm shredded, and because you know what fit and shredded people do? They get up and they go to the gym. That's what I'm doing. Oh, you're trying to get in shape? I am in shape, right? The check, the check is in the bank. It hasn't cashed yet. There's a freaking time window before that cashes, but before it's in my wallet. And you're trying to underestimate me. Watch and fucking learn, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
It's the
crazy.
way of the wandering monk, man. That is the way. Belief, action.
Wow. Damn. So it's belief, action, anything else you have to tag along with that?
Yeah, man. Just know that My motto is the power is within you, because every it was so when my buddy Cody turned around and he's like, "Yo, man, the road provides. The road provides." Well, where does the road lead, right? I said in my book that I'm walking home, man. I found it was like I found the Holy Land. You know, I found the existence to it all, which is the power that resides in us. We already have the power. You have to freaking walk down the road to tap into it, to get it. You just have to do it. Sitting on your ass and crying about your situation and not taking action isn't it's not going to get you anywhere. And yeah, it's hard, you know. And so, I didn't know what my life's calling, what my life's purpose was. On this walk, and it was revealed to me, dude, that my life's purpose was like, once I engulfed this power. I was like, this is it, man. The power is within me. I've walked 1,500 miles. This was by the time I was in Oklahoma. I was like, fuck, and I started just feeling strong, and I'm like, yes. And he's like, and then it was revealed to me. It's like, listen, you have to teach the way of the wandering monk, right? So I want to be sure and get this part in there, man, because this is really important, right? I had given up everything. I'd given up, all my drumming, my whole career, and I was never going to play drums again. And then when I found the power, I realized that in order to be able to keep this power, I had to be able to give it away. So I found that my life's calling was to be able to teach the way of the wandering monk. And I was like, okay, well, how? And it's like, well, dude, you're already a drum teacher. I taught at the Seattle Drum School for a decade. And then I already had my own drum school. I was teaching in New York City. And so I got here to the bridge in 2019. It took me about a year or two to recover. And then right before I had left New York City, I went on one date with this beautiful chick. God, dude, she was gorgeous. Way too good for me at the time. And we went on one date, and then I left, walked across America. And then she saw on social media after I had finished, and I was here in Reading, and she flew out, and now she's my wife. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Caitlin Marie, love you, baby. And so she flies out here. We hit it off. We ended up getting married, and I told her, I was like, listen, it's my life's calling. I have to teach the way of the wandering monk. And that's where it dawned on me. I was like, oh man, I got to start a drum school. And but the drum school isn't going to be just for teaching drums, because that's easy, man. Anybody could teach drums if you know how to play them. Yeah, whatever. And there's a million schools out there. This school, I wanted to make as a way. My wife and I, we started Beats from the Core Drum School. I got my T-shirt on right here, and we decided that we were going to make a drum school that was really, it's a drum school. It's a people building facility disguised as a drum school. Okay, so I decided that I was going to use the 4 core principles that came to me when I was walking of connection, discovery, empowerment, and transformation. And I was going to build drumming curriculums that use those 4 core principles. That was all of those came to me when I was on my walk, and those are the building blocks of tapping into enlightenment, right? You connect, right? And then you discover, and then you feel empowered, and then bam, you're transformed, and you're like, oh my God, right? So connection, discovery, empowerment, transformation. So we started that school. I got some teachers. I trained them how to be able to do it. Dude, we started signing up. The entire town, man, and we're you came by the school today. Yeah, man, and we're 1 year. We're 1 year into our lease, man, and it's just been freaking amazing, dude. We are we have a mission statement that said, we transform lives and impact communities through drum lessons one beat at a time. All right. And we mean that. And so I wake up every single day, my purpose. But you know what? My instructions were not to be a drum teacher. My instructions were to teach the way of the wandering monk. So I quickly set that up, got that going. And now I was like, you know what? What about the adults? What about the other 40-year-old men, 50-year-old men who are fat and broke, depressed, and just feeling stuck, right? I said, I got to help them too. Then I started doing my bodybuilding. Won second place just a few months ago at 50 years old. Started getting freaking shredded, and so I got badass at learning my macros. I'm a macro ninja, and so I said, you know what? The instructions were to teach the way of the wandering monk. So I built a whole mindset and fitness program, and I get these 35, 40, 45, 50-year-old men to get on my program, and I teach them the mindset and the belief system, and then I teach them how to make their bodies nice and strong, so that way they can feel the pain of building muscle and the discomfort and all that, and then find that the path to enlightenment resides on the other side of all of that pain and all this, and then the confidence, and then all of a sudden is what happened. They tap into power. And I've got dudes on my program, man, that are 50 years old. My one dude, I just want to give a shout out. He's a pretty private dude. He doesn't want to use his name, but man, he just lost 40 pounds. He's 50 years old. Yeah. Man, he quit drinking, man. He's awesome, dude. He's waking up and he's just feeling great. I'm praying that he gets a really high quality woman. I mean, like my woman's like, dude, beautiful Haitian goddess, and so I hope that he gets, like attracts like, he dropped all that weight, and so he's thriving, and he found the power, and he's like, dude, I never imagined I could be like this. And it's like, yeah, man. So that's my deal, man, is living out my calling. I wake up every day. I don't give a F what's going on in the world. I don't care, but I wake up and live through my purpose, man. I gotta build the drum school, get more kids in there to learn confidence and connection and discovery and empowerment, and then I gotta get them to be able to spread that. I teach the teachers how to freaking mentor them, and then I get the adults on their fitness and nutrition, man. And that's my ripple. We all got ripples, man. And that's all that I care about. I just wake up and do that. That's it. There's nothing else to do. Meanwhile, I build my body and my mind, and like that. That's a, people talk about non-negotiables. Yeah, I got those in my program and stuff like that, but it's beyond non-negotiables. That's like breathing to me. Like that's literally what I do. I just wake up and, forge my body, my iron, go to Iron Temple and forge strength in my body, so that way I can be the super shredded 50-year-old leader to this whole tribe of wandering monks that I'm trying to build, and you get to be in that wandering monk tribe too, because you're gonna, you're earning your rite of passage, man, going across America like a maniac. You're gonna be running, so that's even way gnarlier, and all that. But yeah, dude, that's living my purpose, my calling. That is it. Wake up, eat, sleep, drink, breathe, shit. Like that's it, man. That's what that's what I do.
Wow, man, so many nuggets I'm taking away from this for myself too as well.
Good, thanks, brother.
I love it. Like it's like I'm getting a glimpse into like what I'll be doing next year. So that's what I'm excited about.
Good, man.
What is your next big move for this year?
Oh my God. Well, my next big move this year is I'm hoping that me and my wife have a baby. We're working on getting pregnant right now, so that's going to be the deal. And my big move for this year, and the year after that, and every year until I, you know, quit breathing this new breath, this new breath of new life with these new lungs that I have, right? Is to continue to grow the amount of people that are down with the way of the wandering monk. That's why I'm here, man. You know, I want to be able to spread the message, man. I want to be able to deliver that not just be able to deliver the glimpse of hope, you know, to people, but to be able to get them to take action, right? You know, to be able to find that belief and to find that power, and then for them to be able to have their own tribe and to be the best man, woman, child that they can be for their family, right? You know, a dad with kids, a mom with kids, or what about a kid? You know, being the best that they can be for their peers, right? You know, dude, showing the other kids like how cool it is, man, to lift weights, to be creative, to be a productive member of a community, right? You know, I hung around all these bums and music that all they wanted to do was be able to play the biggest show, right? You know, get as fucked up as possible, right? You know, drink and party and all this shit. They talk about community, but a lot of these dudes will fucking push you off the cliff to be able to get, you know, their piece. That's not a community, right? You know, so to be able to be able to instill these values, these community morals and values into you know, what I call like the strength archetype, right? You know, that's my mission, man. That's so my big moves, man, is just to grow what I already have. You know, Beats from the Core Drum School and the Wandering Monk program. You know, and I want to be able to, you know, of course, helping you out with your walk or with your run across America, and you know, and just go out and pursue strength with a vengeance. That's it. That's what I'm gonna do. Strength, health, wealth, spirituality, happiness, family, friends. That's it, bro.
All right. So before we conclude our episode with you, what is one thing that somebody that's recently been through a bankruptcy or starting their own the new business or starting over
Yeah.
at the beginning of the line, what is one thing that you can give them in terms of value or advice that they could take today and apply it right away that can change their life and compress their timeline to get them to wherever they need to go?
Oh man. Oh man. That's a good one. Okay. So first of all, um, I've talked extensively about this, man. First of all, is this god awful plague that we have on the internet. You know, what's the term, paralysis by analysis, right? You know, we're in this like everybody has a paper. Oh, I want to research this, and I'm going to do this. I know people that were starting their business, right? You know, 3 years ago, and guess what? Guess what? They're still taking this course, and they're still reading, and they're still like you know, waiting for this to happen up whatever state you're in. Get on there, get on the website, form your freaking business. Just set down your coffee cup, your soda pop, whatever you have right now. Get online, start your freaking business. Guess what? A business plan, dude. Like, I'll probably get a lot of hate for this, dude. Fuck your business plan. What does Mike Tyson say? Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, right? Right?
You're right.
Business is going to punch you in the face. I know. I've had a few of them, right? So jump in, right? You know, jump off the cliff, build your wings on the way down, and as quickly as possible get mentorship. But you have to get the right mentor, the right coach, because too many of these people are like, oh, I'll get this, you know, but don't don't get mentored by somebody, who isn't where you want to be. I don't take weightlifting advice from, from dudes that have little pencil arms, right? There's a whole bunch of them that tell me about lifting, right? There's all these dudes that talk about how to lift when you're 50. And guess what? I didn't lift. I would listen to a bunch of them, and I hurt and I got all this. I listen to these 50 and 6-year-olds who are just absolutely shredded, and they go against all the science and all that. And guess what? What they do works. So start right freaking now, okay? And you have to believe that even if you're feeling powerfulness, you have to believe that you can. You just listen. You just have to believe you can, and watch your self talk. Oh, I can't do the blah blah like that. Whatever you say, the God, the universe, whatever you believe in. I happen to believe in God, but the way the universe doesn't know the word no. It only knows the word yes. So whatever you say is yes. Dude, if you say, oh my God, I'm going to fail, guess what? That's not belief. Belief is, oh dude, there's my business. I got no money in my account. I don't know how to do this business. I don't freaking blah blah blah. Good. Get online. Freaking start. Oh, I don't have any money. Go wash your grandma's car, right? Go get the, just freaking start, dude. In some states you don't even really have to incorporate until you make 10K, right? Dude. So just make up a fake business name. Just get going. All right. That's what I say, because the road only provides unless you're what?
Not move.
Yeah, unless you're walking down, it only provides to those who continue to walk down the road,
Yeah.
right? So you gotta just freaking go, build your wings on the way down, and then quickly surround yourself around people that are winning at where you want to go. Cut out the rest of the noise, right? Just cut out all of that. Yeah, and that's what I would say. Like, there were, bro, I can't tell you how many people are like, oh, you want to do a drum school in there in Reading? Oh, well, people don't have money here. Nobody's gonna freaking sign up for that. Literally at every, they're like, oh, dude, don't open up a music shop and a drum school here, because all the music shops and stuff like that, they're all closed. I said, great, I'm going to do it. No, you're good. And there, people are like, oh, and whatever you do, don't get a place downtown, because downtown is booming, and that's where the most expensive rent is. So you know what I did? Yeah. I got a place right in the heart of downtown, the most expensive rent. And then I was like, yo, hey, we have a high ticket drum school. Oh, you're not going to sign up anybody. Well, guess what? I'm like, me and my wife, right before you got there, we were looking at our calendar. I'm like, we have 2 teachers plus myself. I'm like, how are we going to onboard all the rest of these kids? Because we're hooked up with all the charter schools and yada yada. Great problem to have. So now I have to find out how to do that. Don't listen to that shit. You just got to go. Guess what my business plan was?
What?
I didn't have one. I freaking was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a freaking drum school. I'm gonna do this. That's what you do, man. Ask all the top dudes that are really doing it, dude. People sit around and they pontificate and they're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get on this website, and I'm gonna, man, fuck that, dude. You just fucking do it, right?
That's the best.
Right? Yeah, man.
Best.
Yeah,
I don't
dude.
even have a business plan for this, actually. Like, this company right here that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be an IT company. I started an IT company last year. And then I started doing websites for people, and they're like, that's part of IT too.
Yeah.
Websites here and there. And then they start getting me work for photo and video with the website, and I just fell in love with the photo and video side.
Right.
And the original plan was to make IT company.
Exactly.
So
right.
This path is way different than what I planned for, but it's much more rewarding, and
Yeah.
I love this type of work.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you see, You had a plan until boom, you got punched in the face. Oh, I'm gonna do this. And listen. That's another thing too, man. You know that people got to realize, man. Is here's a skill that a lot of people need to learn, right? The skill of adaptation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, there's too much rigidity, right? In modern culture. Now, don't get me wrong, because when it comes to health and fitness like that, you need the rigidity, but you also need to be able to adapt to being to where like, hey man, if I'm lifting and I plateau, I don't just keep right. Then I can't be so rigid that I just keep right. You want to gain. So you want to be able to be you want to be able to be fluid enough to where you could growth to where you could maximize growth, continue growth, but you want to be rigid enough to where you have momentum. But most people are like, oh, I started an IT company. Why is my IT company growing like that? Well, because you got 50 customers that want you to do this. So go do that. And uh, yeah, man. And you got to hurry, man, because your life will be done like this. You know, I mean, dude, I had a 22, 23-year-old year career, man, that literally was just like, boom, it was up in smoke. It was like, I remember just being on the floor of my empty house, no family, nothing, man, just like no furniture, nothing, drunk with like, empty bottles and everything. And I was like, and like 3 weeks later, I was playing like, venue. I was playing for like 500-600 people. And I was like, the fuck, man, like it's just bam, it's just gone. Be in the moment, enjoy the process, but for God's sake, do it right now, man. Your freaking life depends on it, because in a blink of an eye, dude, it's it's gonna be gone, and then there's your chance, and then you fade away. What's your shirt? New legacy? You have no legacy,
Damn.
because shit just faded away. Oh yeah, who was that dude? Oh, I don't know. Boom, you're done.
Yeah.
People are gonna forget about you anyways, but like that's as human species, man, it's like that's our goal. We want to at least feel like we're gonna leave a legacy, man. I can barely contain myself, because I know where our path is going, man. It's like I saw the whole fucking thing play out, and every bit of it has played out exactly how I seen it, and I know where it ends. I see every bit of it. It's just hard to talk to, because I can't just be like, oh hey, freaking blah blah blah, and people just be like, oh dude, whatever, like, and it's like I'm like a teapot all the time, like fucking boiling. I'm like, yeah.
That's still recorded, so that's actually really good organic content.
Yeah.
As we close out on this podcast, do you have any other closing thought that you want to leave the audience with?
Oh man, in closing thoughts, man. Well, you know, like I said, you gotta remember, man, that the power is within you. Watch your self talk, whether you believe you can or you can't. You're right. That age old saying. Listen, man, I'm telling you, man. The you know the true path to enlightenment resides on the other side of all the pain and the discomfort and the sorrow and being stuck. The true path to enlightenment is not around that. It's not a way. It's not a way around it. It's not a way over it. The answer is the way out is through. Walk right through that shit, man. Just walk right through it. Feel that pain, even if it singes all the skin off, off your bones, man. If die a literal death, that's the most, that is the biggest gift you could ever ask for, man. Especially if you're an older man, 35, 45, 50, right here, is pray for that death to consume you, man, and just become the ash, man. And then the wind comes, blows that ash, and then once you're dead, like the inside, right? Then from there, you'll be able to sprout new life. You'll have new eyes, new lungs, breathe new air, and you're not bound to anything. And then you could become that adventurer. You could become that strong man. You could become anything because you died, and then now you could become to be reborn. And I'm not saying that through a Christian way. Hey, if you are whatever, I became reborn, but just reborn into newness. And once you die, let that ash blow off into the wind to where you'll never see it again. Gone, death. For that death to be able to bask in the newness of your new life, and then take that and go. Take that and go with a vengeance, like your life depends on it, man, because it does.
Man, I appreciate you for your time and being here.
Bro,
sharing
bro.
this moment with me.
Yeah, brother. Check it out, man. I appreciate you coming to Reading, to the Sundial Bridge, man. Check it out, God's Country. I appreciate you coming by the drum school. I appreciate you reaching out to me, man. Listen, this is one thing I'm gonna tell people, man. The power of the power of actually making connections, of actually talking to people, right? We get on social media and we just let like that, and you just look and look. We met each other through the comments of a Wes Watson post on social media, and now here we are, and he's like, dude, you walked across America, oh my God. And now I get to help coach this young man to be able to help him do his epic rite of passage, running across an entire continent, dude. I'm blessed that you're here. I already knew you would come here. I knew you were gonna show up. I didn't know your name. In my book, literally the name Toon is written out, right? Dude, and Toon runs, right? And your name is Zune, and then you run. So, like I said, this shit's already been determined. Wait until you read this book. I already knew you were coming, and then boom, you reached out, and so we're just fulfilling the prophecy. We're just fulfilling what we're instructed to do. You just gotta listen, and all the answers reside in the wind. Did you know I had never read the Bible, and then when I was on my walk across America, I was writing down all of this stuff, and I wrote out the word Yahweh. Because the Yahweh is what, every time I heard wind, you know what Yahweh is, right?
What is that?
Yahweh means Jesus.
Oh, damn.
That's the literal name.
Yeah.
Jesus is Yahweh. And every time the wind blew, I would hear Yahweh. It was like that, and so I wrote it down. And my buddy who they gave me the Bible. Jim and Susan, they are the founders of they were the co-founders of Fight for the Forgotten and the Heroes in Awaiting, the anti-bullying campaign that I raised $10K for on the walk. They gave me this Bible, and they're Christians, and they were like, yo, and I told them over the phone, I was like, yeah, man, I wrote down this word Yahweh, and they start crying. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, what? I was like, that's not, and yeah, in the Bible, it's like, it's Yahweh. And so you start listening to the silence. You get you make sure that you have a lot of isolation, and you listen to cut out all of this noise, and then the answer to every single thing that you need to know resides right inside of that wind, of that breath. The Yahweh is also breath, right? Dude. So everything resides in there, and so you're like, yeah, man, we're doing this. We connected. It's because you're tapped in. You're tapped in. You remember when we came down here, we said, oh, dude, we're on the same frequency. We're on a high vibrational frequency, right? Mm-hmm. That's why we're fulfilling this prophecy that we're walking across America and collecting all of this wisdom, collecting these answers that you wouldn't otherwise be able to collect unless you did something like that. So I'm fucking stoked, bro.
Man,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is.
I'm gonna be
getting
you'll-
chills.
dude, man, you're gonna be running. I'm gonna be like, yeah, bro, let's go, dude. I'll be fucking
You be driving the Big Bertha,
Oh yeah,
the big
dude.
RV. Yeah,
Dude,
let's go.
yo, man, I'm telling you, man, and the smells and yeah, dude, being out there. Wait until you hear the sound of deafening silence, like silence that is so silent that it hurts your ears,
Wow.
painful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't wear headphones. You got to listen to your breath, and you got to listen to your mind. You got to have like no, like yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't like wearing headphones when I lift, when I get in the zone. Yeah.
Damn. I feel like this is the best one I've done.
All right, brother. Yeah, dude, glad to be part of it. Thanks, bro.